My rent just went from $1,360 to $3,900 a month. Also, I'm sick. Happy spring equinox.
I don't understand how anybody...
No one can buy a house anymore. So now we're forced to rent. But then the rent got expensive. So now we have to buy an RV. And now it's illegal to live in the RV. So we try to live in our car. It's illegal to live in the car too! So we become homeless? We can still live on the street. Did you know that's fucking illegal?
Hi, I'm looking to rent a one-bedroom apartment. What will I need to move in? Yeah, sure. That'll be just 1 month's rent, $500 plus a security deposit of another $500, and you'll be all set. Nice, I'll take it. Thanks. Hi, I'm looking to rent a one-bedroom apartment. What will I need to move in? Yeah, so rent's $2,500 a month. You're gonna need first, last, and security, so that's $7,500 total. There's also a pet fee, a trash fee, a parking fee, a fee 5 fun fee, a wish a nigga would fee. Also, we're gonna need both arms and one leg, and your firstborn child. I mean, I can't work without arms. That's your problem, sir, not ours. So if you're interested, we can get started on the paperwork right away. You mother...
I'm 20 years old. Why is a one-bedroom apartment $600, $1,600? Like, oh my God, for 500 square foot. Rent prices is outrageous. And then these jobs, they're bare minimum jobs. Like, I'm supposed to be in customer service. Before I was a server, I was working at like fast food restaurants, and nothing against them, love it, but we need them jobs. But why are you yelling at me over a burger? So it's one of those type of things. It's like the work life, trying to balance out school, trying to balance out finding housing. It's just overhyped. Like, I really waited my whole life to grow up and do this.
So Americans are struggling to pay their rent. Things have really gone up these days, and buying a house is really impossible now. And prices have gone up, grocery, cars, even rent now. Where are we supposed to live now? Can we live in an RV? Can we live in the forest? Can we live in our car? Where are we supposed to live now? A lot of people are complaining. So let's hear them out.
With the way the economy is right now, I honest to God feel like none of us really have our shit together. I bet you that there's a good percentage of your coworkers who are either A, still living at home, B, living with a friend, or C, having to live at the homeless shelter. And if you're somehow like on your own living in an apartment, I feel like there's a lot of folks out here that are literally having to split it amongst like 5 or 6 other people to make things work. People can no longer afford rent. Rent keeps going up. Food keeps going up. The costs keep going up. And I find that, you know, if there were people that are on their own, they literally are in a position where they have to move back home so that way they can literally afford life. It literally feels like we're all just constantly running on this fucking hamster wheel week in and week out, yet we're literally getting nowhere, and it almost feels like we just keep getting poorer and poorer and poorer, and it's almost like a thing where we've almost gotten used to it, but it's like society will still try to gaslight you into believing that it's all your fault. You cannot outwork this shit. You can't budget your way out of this shit. I personally have tried to do that, and it's literally impossible. I personally vote that whatever, you know, helps you get through these horrible times that we're living in, whatever helps make your life more bearable, more easier, take some of the weight off of your shoulders. I seriously think you need to go through with it. No one's affording life here in America anymore unless you're ultra fucking wealthy. Don't beat yourself up, dude. You got the short end of the stick. All of us did.
Hey, y'all, I don't do stuff like this, but I just want to rant about rent, okay? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you funky ass landlords and rental companies and all that shit. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all listen to me and y'all listen clearly, okay? If any fucking bill is gonna get paid, it's gonna be rent. You're denying, mind you, I haven't started applying yet. This is me role playing, okay? Point POV. Y'all denying my application because I don't make 3 times the rent. Bitch, rent is going to get paid. I put a little half up from this check, half up from that check. Rent's paid. Y'all want me to make 3 times the rent. Why? To prove to y'all that maybe I could pay rent in one paycheck or at the drop of a motherfucking dime. Maybe I need to put a little here, a little there, a little razzle, a little dazzle. But rent's gonna get fucking paid. You understand me? Everything else could be burned into the goddamn ground. Rent is going to be paid. Okay? Shit.
What the fuck is going on? This is my first time trying to look for housing in Los Angeles. I'm a native LA resident. I was born and raised here. And I've been living in my rent-controlled house with my family my entire life. Now, I work a normal-ass job. I make above minimum wage at one of my jobs. I have obviously multiple, like every other freaking young person trying to survive in this world. One of my jobs is minimum wage. The other is like $18 an hour. And together they add up to full-time work, both jobs. Why the fuck? Like on average, if I work full-time, I make like maybe like 1,500 every 2 weeks. So it's like 3,000 a month max because my hours vary. 3,000 a month max. I'm literally I can't afford any of these apartments. One apartment is $3,080 a month. What the fuck? How do I buy food if rent is already more expensive than how much I make in a single month? I don't understand. That's a 1-bedroom.
I seen a creator on here talking about people need to stop moving and bouncing around. That's why the rent high. Just renew your lease, like all this other stuff. But let me give you the perspective of a mover, right? I've had 5 apartments in the last 5 years. Let me tell you why. In one of my apartments, my lease was up. They sent me a renewal offer. They said your rent's going up $150. I said, why? Nothing has changed in this place. If anything, it should go down. Like all the damages I've caused in here and my kid. So, but it's going up. They said, yeah, you know, the market, blah, blah. The market. Okay. Do my research. I pull up the website. There's a unit next door available. Same layout, same floor plan, same style. And there's no new renovations. $200 cheaper than what I'm paying currently. Not the new rent. That would have been $350 cheaper. What I have now, it was $200 cheaper than that. But what's the catch? It's for new tenants. New business. Okay. So I try to call them, try to figure this out. Hey, bro, by the way, can I just move in that one? Because I'm going to just move in there. It's $200 cheaper, same floor plan, same everything. We good, right? No, you actually have to pay a $500 transfer fee just to move units, and then on top of that, you don't get that new price, that new rent. That's only for new tenants. Since you're an existing tenant, it would just be the same rent as your other place. Make it make sense. So then I said, you know what? Screw it. We gone. 60 days. Here you go. We out. I checked the apartment website. What do you know? The unit that I'm moving out of is now $200 cheaper for a new tenant. You see how that works? It's not us. It's the apartment complexes. It's the scam that they have going on. But this is the best part. When you pull up a new complex, they will have newer renovations and they'll give you 2 months free just because you're a new tenant moving in. And your rent is going to be cheaper than the last place you stayed at. So while moving costs and all of that sucks, for sure, I hate doing that. In the long run, I have a cheaper place, a nicer place, and 2 months free. So that is why I move around. It's not our fault at all. It's the apartment's fault. It's the apartment industry.
These days, it's really impossible for you to live alone, especially when the rent is so high, above $2,000. Like, where are you going to get that kind of money if you're living paycheck to paycheck? You literally have to live with one or two or more roommates just to afford that, you know? Because you have other things to pay for. Car insurance, health insurance, which are big money trap. Like, where are you gonna get money to survive and live comfortably? You know, that's why a lot of people are living with their parents, living back at home, so they can afford, just so they can live. And I'm very grateful to be living with my parents, and our rent is pretty low because we have relatives that is renting it pretty low. So it's very beneficial if you have relatives that have houses for rent, because they can really hook you up.
Hey, look, I don't know who need to hear this, but actually, I know exactly who need to hear this. and I hope y'all listening, all right? Now hear me out, right? If we could afford 3 times the monthly rent at these rates, I promise you, we are not looking for no janky ass 2-bedroom apartment that ain't worth $800. You feel me? If I had made enough money to afford 3 times the monthly rent at this rate for a 2-bedroom janky apartment, y'all looking, these rates these days, $2,500 for a janky 2-bedroom apartment. That's $7,500. Y'all expect us to have to move in, right? On the topic of moving in, why am I paying downwards of 10 grand to move into a janky 2-bedroom apartment? That don't sound crazy. I promise you, if we could afford 3 times the monthly rent, that 2-bedroom apartment ain't on our mind. We looking for houses with yards and garages. All right? That's wild. And you know what? Let me let y'all in on something. If y'all don't know this, right? I'm gonna give some grace, right? I'm gonna say 75% of every apartment building, none of those 75% can actually afford 3 times the rent. So y'all got finessed into thinking all these people can pay that rent. When I'm telling you, I'm still giving grace. 75% of them people are struggling to make that rent, let alone 3 times. They're struggling to make 1 time's rent. We need to do away with this running logic or economy or business, whatever you call it. Because thinking that somebody is gonna make that much money and want to rent a 2-bedroom apartment in a janky apartment where when one person move out, y'all just paint over everything, even the plug sockets, there's bugs painted into the walls. Hell no. We looking at houses if we making 3 times rent. That is wild. All right, I'm done ranting. Peace.
How is America continuing to build all these ridiculous ass apartment complexes, but charging almost $3,000 for 1 bedroom? And who in the hell are affording to move into these ridiculously high, overpriced, expensive apartments? The national average salary is like $55,000, something like that. I'm not the best at math, but 56,000 divided by 12 is like $4.6 thousand a month. That's like 75% of your check gone if you're paying $3,000 a month for an apartment. Not to mention you got food, you got electricity bill, you got car payment, car insurance, gas. You like to go shopping, get new clothes. God forbid you need a haircut every 2 weeks or you got to get your hair done. And God forbid you have fucking kids' mouths to feed. That's even double. The average income earner cannot afford these overpriced ass apartments. So who the fuck are they building these apartment complexes for? And what makes it even more hilarious, every single fucking year, these greedy ass landlords continue to increase the rent. So pretty soon, if you haven't already, we're going to be seeing $4,000, $5,000 a month apartment complex prices. And my question is, why do they keep getting away with this? How, as we as a people have not gone up there with pitchforks, knives, and any type of weapon that we can find to put an end to this madness? We are literally allowing them to run our pockets fucking dry. What happened to America? We used to protest way back then. The minute taxes went over 2%. Now, we are getting taxed damn near half, if not more than half our fucking money. Rent is out of control. Housing prices are out of control. Mortgage is out of control. Every single bill known to man is completely out of fucking control. And all we do is we go on TikTok, we bitch moan, we complain, and then the next day we get up, we go to work, and we pay that overpriced ass rent. Why, as we as a people have not done anything about this? Because we have not revolted. Us not revolting means that these landlords will continue to increase the rent every single year. Us not revolting means that these developers will continue to buy up a whole bunch of land, knock down these trees, and build overpriced ass apartment complex on top of apartment complex on top of apartment complex. Us not revolting will lead to housing prices continuing to skyrocket, mortgage rates continue to skyrocket, and everything else known to man to live continuing to skyrocket. As much as this problem is corporate greed, another half of this problem is us not fucking revolting and taking a stand against these corrupt, greedy motherfuckers. We, as a people, have allowed them to get away with so much shit, they have become borderline unstoppable. And it's sad to say, but I think there's no coming back from this.
I've been looking for somewhere to stay for the past 3 months. Rent so motherfucking high you can't even afford to live by your motherfucking self. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. The job I work ain't paying a goddamn thing. Where the fuck y'all work at? If y'all living by y'allself, can y'all please tell me how the fuck y'all making ends meet? How are y'all paying car note, life insurance, car insurance, rent, and buying motherfucking food and utilities? Can somebody please come up under here and help me? Maybe I'm looking in the wrong motherfucking place, because ain't no way one person doing all this motherfucking shit. It ain't no motherfucking way. I've been confused for the past 3 motherfucking months. It ain't no way one person doing all this motherfucking shit. What the fuck do I need to do?
Our landlord said our rent was going up $200 for the next year. And we said, how about it goes up just $100 instead? And he said, sure. Which then it's like, was it going up $200? Or that was just an idea you had? Because 100 is way less. And if it doesn't have to go up 200, it could go up 100, then it could also not go up. It'd be the same distance to not going up as it was going from 200 to 100. So it's confusing, trying to figure out what is going on.
I need to know why LA is so fucking hard to rent right now. I make $200,000 to $250,000 a year. I work my ass off. I have a 798 credit score. I just put my name in for an apartment house for $4,000 and I got denied. I wrote a cover letter. I got her phone number. We chatted. I told her my boyfriend's handy. I make more than enough money and my credit score is phenomenal. Why? I need to know. If there is anybody that could tell me why I keep getting rejected by these places where I have more than enough money to rent, I don't get it. It's so frustrating, and it like breaks my heart every single time. Every single time. I am literally almost started crying when I got the rejection email today. And I know that's so silly, but like, you know, I get excited. I start designing the house and it's so exciting and it's a new fresh start. I love, love, love moving. The 4 places that we have put our name in have not gotten. I'm so confused. I do not understand it.
Rent is too damn high. The cost of living is too damn high. And I don't understand how the government thinks that is sustainable for the American citizens. I am looking online at different places, houses, apartments, townhomes, everything to see what's out there. One, they want you to make 3 times the rent. Jobs are not paying 3 times the rent. I'm looking at different jobs that require at least a bachelor's degree, which I have, but they're at $52,000, $53,000, $50,000 a year. What? And you expect me to pay $2,000 and above for rent, and you want me to make 3 times that? Like, make it make sense. How is people surviving out here? I really want to know, how are people surviving? And then they want to get on you about living, allowing people to come stay with you and they paying a portion of the rent. So people can't stay there if they're not on the lease, and you can get in trouble for that and evicted for that. And on top of that, they want the deposit, which is the equivalent of the rent, the first month rent, and then last month rent. And then they want your credit score to be extra high. Mine is 796. So, I mean, I will qualify. But again, for the average American, that's not doable. That is not doable. They want you to spend every aching ounce, every minute of the day at somebody's job collecting hours and hours and money and money and money and money, when do you get to sleep? When do you actually get to be at home? You don't even get to be at home. How is any of this sustainable? It's not. The housing crisis is already bad enough. There isn't any more low-income housing. I know because I work in housing, so I know. People are really hurting, really struggling to live and survive. And it's going to be a lot more homeless people that do have jobs, but they can't afford to get apartments. And that's a lot of homeless people that I see. They actually work, but they can't afford to get... I moved out into my own apartment when I was 19 years old, okay? I had it was 1 bedroom, 1 bath. It was $625. 1 bedroom now is over $1,200. A 2-bedroom back then was $800 at the most. $725 on the low end. That's when I moved out. Now it has tripled. That is not sustainable. And a lot more people are going to go homeless. Period. Now they being little picky about how many people you can have living in a home or an apartment. But how do you expect people to survive? They're not paying us enough to pay these prices. This is not sustainable, and eventually it's gonna bust.
Imagine renting a house over $2,000 and they don't allow pets. If you're a pet owner, how are you gonna live? You know, I can't live in a place where they don't accept my dog. There's gotta be a place for my dog. So it's either we go homeless, we live in the street, or just gotta figure it out, live in our car. But things they say it's illegal to live in a car now, it's illegal to live in an RV, it's illegal. Where are we supposed to live? I thought Earth is like our primary shelter. Earth should be free to live. You know, we should be able to live anywhere we want because it's the Earth. And I get it, you know, I get it. You need land, and land you need to pay, but why can't people live in the forest? Why can't people live in their cars that they own or RV? Why do they have to make those things illegal? It just doesn't make sense. It's like it's too much law that it doesn't make sense anymore. You know, it's too much greed. It's too much. You have to pay for everything. Like even if you're homeless, you have to pay for everything just so you can live. Like, where are we gonna live? Do I have to bury myself 6 feet under just to live, just to sleep, pretend like I'm dead? Like, everything now is illegal. You know, that's what's hard. They're trying to criminalize everything, and everything is just all about money.
$49 a night or $280 a week. I don't know about you, but that's a lot cheaper than most people are paying rent right now. And here are the accommodations. You get a coffee bar, a bagel bar in the morning. They clean your sheets. You don't have to pay for utilities. So, I mean, think about this. Renter's insurance, your utilities, how much you pay in electricity and water. Guess what? It's all covered. Who wouldn't do this? Is this cheaper? If you're watching this and this $280 a week is cheaper than what you pay in rent right now, drop me a like. Drop me a comment, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, why? People are selling their houses literally to live in this micro hotel, motel, whatever it is. But y'all, $49, like $280 a week, that's a good deal. I mean, think about all the things that offers that you don't have to worry about anymore. You go home to clean sheets. Yes, you don't have a kitchen, but they're making you food in the morning. I don't know. Sign me up. That's all I'm saying.
If you want cheap rent without getting a roommate, there's only 2 options available. So for your first option, if you want a cheap apartment, is you have to move to far, far away land. You have to move to a small ass town where everybody goes to Walmart for fun. There's nothing to do and you'll be bored as hell, but your rent will be $35 a month. Your second option, if you want cheap rent, is your roommate is probably going to be rats and roaches. Your car's going to get broken into. You're probably going to get shot. But at least your city's a lot of fun and there's a lot of things to do in your city. And this is why I think renting is such a very unfair concept. I have a friend who's paying $2,500 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in Miami, Florida. Then I have another friend who's paying $800 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment in a small town in South Carolina. Both apartments are pretty much the same size. The only difference is location. I think it should be illegal for rent to be over $2,000 a month. You could be paying $2,000 a month for your apartment and your next door neighbor, same model, same everything, could be paying $1,800 for the same model apartment as you. Or they could be paying more than you. When you renew your lease, it could go up by $9 or $900. And then you're paying $2,000 a month, but you will never own your apartment. You will never own it. I feel like rent should be like a fixed amount across the board. A 1-bedroom apartment anywhere in the United States should be like $800. A 2-bedroom apartment should be like $900. Life is unfair, but renting is 10 times unfairer.
I am sitting here showing this property and I am just in disbelief. I got here a little early, but I know houses so well that I already know that my client is going to be disappointed when we walk in. And it's super crazy to me that we have reached a point in the economy where this townhouse in Upper Marlboro, Maryland is renting for $2,900 a month. I'm gonna show y'all these cases every time I get it, because I want you to understand that despite what's happening in the market, you need to do everything in your power to become a homeowner. Paying $2,900 a month in rent is asinine for a house that has major issues. I could tell. I ain't even got to be a home inspector. And guess what? The little patch of land that you see out here, this little greenery right here, is your responsibility to cut that grass. Whatever is available in the back, if there is a backyard, we'll see it when we go inside. You got to keep that up as well. You got to pay for lighting, electricity, water, gas, okay? You got to pay for all of that. And then you're paying them $2,900 a month. Renting does not make sense in the DMV, all right? Especially not renting other people's houses. Now, I understand that in certain situations, you have to do what you have to do. But hear me when I tell you that you must put all of your resources together to become a homeowner. It is not that difficult. You will not be house poor if you learn your numbers before you go into the buying process. This is ridiculous at this point. I can't even believe it. I can't even keep a straight face. And trust me, my clients that know me know good and well that I have these conversations with them. So don't think that I'm just posting these videos on the internet. No, I tell my clients, any rental clients that I have are renting by choice or renting because they have to, but it's not a long-term goal. All right, y'all. Bye.
I was listening to this professor on YouTube. His name is Professor Ji Yang. And he says that ownership is how you could get rich, is how you could build wealth. Because if you own something, you can make people work for you and make money for you. So ownership is really the only way to build wealth. Because if you own real estate, if you own houses, then yes, you can have people, you can rent it and people will pay every month and it will build you wealth. But if you don't have anything that you own, you don't have any ownership of anything, it's like you're just feeding the system. You're just making the rich richer because you don't own anything. Like, how can people invest in you if you don't have anything, if you don't own anything? So that's why it's very important if you could just buy a house. Of course, save up, buy a house, and if you want, you can turn that into a real estate business where you can rent it and people pay every month, you know, passive income, ownership is definitely the key to building wealth. Because if you don't own anything, how can you build wealth? You know, you're just going to be living paycheck to paycheck under the system because you don't know anything. You're relying to the system. You're dependent to the system. So yeah.
Have y'all been seeing the new rent law that just passed? It's a lot of new things that some people gonna be happy and some people gonna be mad. It all depends on what side of the fence you on. I'm liking how they capped the rent applications at $50. So ain't nobody about to be charging you $75 for a rental application or $100 depending on what city and state you in. Some states, they cannot charge you first and last month's rent. I'm seeing in some states, you only gonna have to pay $1. Yeah, I said $1 to move in, right? But then again, in some states, now you have to pay 3 times the rent instead of 2 times. And then in other states, you only gotta pay the first month rent and you good. Or $1 to move in. They saying this is part of the big beautiful bill. So shout out to Donald Trump, y'all. So I could say on one side of the fence, the renters, they gonna be happy depending on what state you in. But then again, if you on the other side of the fence and you're a homeowner renting out your home, I could see you being a little frustrated because you was used to a pattern that's no longer gonna be there no more. Depending on what state you in, cause some homeowners will be happy because now the people that you're renting a house to, they have to be making 3 times the rent. But then again, you in another state, somebody might be able to only move into your house with $1 and you can't charge them no first and last month rent. And on top of that, they cracking down on people using CPNs. The AI is coming in to take away the CPN stuff. So a lot of people who's using that, man, you finna be out of the mix, my boy. But drop y'all thoughts below. How y'all feeling about this? You think it's a good thing or a bad thing? I know there's going to be a lot of mixed emotions and it's going to be a lot of people saying, I don't see that nowhere. Keep looking and keep searching. Google is not the only thing you need to be using nowadays, all right? And stop talking bad about AI, that AI is stupid, and you using Google. You think Google gonna be smarter than AI? Be real with yourself.
I'm back at it again with my rent rant. Because why is a studio apartment $2,500? Like, please, like, tell me. And the worst of it all is, like, why is a studio apartment $2,500 in the Bronx? Or why is it in an area where there's nobody at? I don't understand. They said the more buildings there were, the more the rent, the competition was gonna lower it. Why isn't the competition lower it? The rent somehow still stays at the same price. Why is a 1-bedroom $2,000? I feel like back in the old days, a 1-bedroom was like $900. At least that's what I thought. Why is the studio $2,500? I don't get it. When somebody finds the answer, please let me know. Please, like, please.
We should only be paying, in my opinion, once every year for rent. Because paying every month for rent is crazy. Because it's like, why can't you only rent it once to live in. So why are you paying it every month? Like, I just don't understand that. We should pay it once a year. It should be that price that we pay every month the whole year, because you're only renting it that one time. Just like the lease. Like, you have to pay every month just to live in it and use the light and the gas, like everything. We should only be paying it once a year. This is my opinion. Because these prices are ridiculous. Ridiculous. Every month. You want that price every month. Man, it's ridiculous.
I haven't paid my rent in 3 months. I got food in the fridge though. My car is downstairs and I can get back and forth to work, but I haven't paid rent in 3 months. I'm not saying this to flex at all, I'm not, but what else am I supposed to do? Like, I can't afford it because bills keep coming out. Rent is already high. Like, I need to eat, okay? I need to do what I need to do to take care of myself. So I'm not paying it. And you know, these jobs don't care nothing about your personal life. Like, all they care about is you showing up on time, doing your 8, 10, 12 hours, however long you have to work. And then that's it. And then you do it all again the next day. Like, I'm burnt out. I'm tired. Like, I'm not about to be working 6 other jobs just to be able to pay my rent. Call me crazy if you want, but I'm still here. So we're gonna have to see what happens in the next 30 days.
I live in a trailer park and I love it. Technically, it's a campground, but I'm a redneck at heart, so I like saying trailer park. But look at this shit. Peaceful, got a patio, paying $675 in rent. $675 in these times. Have fun paying $1,500 for a 1-bedroom apartment with all your fees. I got my own little spot with the dogs on the patio, chilling, paying $675. It's great. I love it. You should look into it. And it's Lana coded.
I just want to talk to the landlords of Chicago. I just want to know, why are you charging $2,400 for a 2-bedroom? Or why are we renting rooms in houses like they're dorms? I just have a question. And then the requirements be like, you have to have a good job. You have to have 780 credit score, 4 times the rent. Okay? And no pets. You can have no pets. Bitch, excuse me, I'm paying your mortgage? I'm paying your mortgage? And then the transplants come from New York and shit to Chicago. And they're like, $2,400 for a 2-bed. That's a steal. Bitch, where are you working? In the drug cartel? Bitch, I have a career and I can't even. You think if I had $2,400, bitch, I wouldn't have my own home? I wouldn't have my own. If I had 4 times $2,400 in a month, bitch, you think I wouldn't have a home that I would be renting? This shit is crazy, bro. Lord have mercy.
Do you think it's humane to work every day, all day, just to make ends meet? I work every day, Monday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Do you think I have a life? I have to survive. I just left work to come here to speak up for the people that couldn't come here. Do you think that's fair?
Thank you for your testimony.
No, I'm not finished. Because you, the Rent Guidelines Board, which is, you started in 1960 to help us and hear us from the tenant, and instead rent has risen. What are you doing to support us? I implore you to not increase the rent and roll back the rent.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me announce our next 3 speakers. We're going to be hearing from...
One of the strategy that I could think of to live comfortably is to get a remote job, work from home job, and travel, live in a country where your dollar will expand, like Asia. If you go to Philippines, your dollar will cost 45 pesos, and you can make a lot of money. You can do a lot of things with that dollar. You can build a house for a much cheaper price, probably less than 100 grand. And with your work from home job, you can definitely live comfortably. You know, you can build a family, you can start a family in there. But, you know, it's really up to your lifestyle. If you're willing to travel to another country just to live and work from home, you know, it really depends, you know. But it's definitely going to help you with your life if you could expand your dollar, because your dollar here in the United States doesn't have any buying power. So strategically, go to another country where you could expand your dollar is really great strategy.